Hello there and welcome to the Michael Krug podcast show. Today on the show, I am showing a full day of what I eat. And what I eat as someone who fluctuates right now between 215 and 220 pounds. I'm actually going to go into more of a cut here to the end of the year and get down to 200. That's the goal. Just to show you how I prioritize protein, how I mix up different macronutrients, and how it looks for me on honestly a pretty regular day. There was some nuance, some difference to it. I ate a lot more cheese than I usually do, but that's just what I did. Before we jump in, a couple things. So one, if you are listening on the audio platforms, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, any of those audio platforms without video, you might want to check out the YouTube for this one. On this one, I do show what I make. I show the ingredients, kind of the recipes, how I make food, how I make it super efficient and simple to have healthy food that doesn't take, an hour and a half to make. And that would be my recommendation. Obviously, if you still listen, you'll get some value out of it, but YouTube is going to be prime for this one. The second one, I launched a new community on School. It's called the Inspired Wellbeing Community. If you want to check it out, it's great. It's growing. In there, I do have my free course, the Inspired Blueprint, as well as something new that I created called the 60-Day Challenge. So the Inspired Blueprint is a course that is a 60-day lifestyle transformation. It's built to help you change some of your habits and routines so that health, fitness, healthy nutrition, those types of things become a part of your normal lifestyle. So again, that community is free right now if you want to jump in. There's a link in the show notes. And beyond that, I hope you enjoy. Okay, this kind of video has been requested multiple times, so I'm going to do it today. What do I eat in a day? And I'm just going to show you what I start with. Okay, so don't mind how messy my desk is. I usually start the day with 40 ounces of water. I've got a cup of coffee. I usually have 1 cup of coffee. Some days I have 2, and it's very strong coffee. You can see how dark it is. All right, and then in here I have Element, or the LMNT, whatever brand it is. It's just electrolytes. I drink it in a pint glass. Feel fancy. I think it's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium. It has 200 milligrams of either potassium or magnesium and 60 milligrams of either potassium or magnesium. I'm not sure which the split is, but that's usually what I start the day with. And I will have this usually until about anywhere, honestly, from 9 to 12. I'm not like I must eat breakfast at this time. And that's my fluid stack that I pretty much start every single day with. I am not strict on eating breakfast at any time. I usually just wait until I'm hungry. Usually for me, that's around 10 a.m. Sometimes it's at 9, sometimes it's not till 11, maybe noon. But that's usually what it looks like for the first, couple hours of the day. I'm just sipping on water, coffee, and electrolyte water. And honestly, I usually probably have 60 ounces of water before I have any food pretty much every day. So that's how I start my day, is just with fluids. All right, so it's 9 a.m. I am officially hungry, and I'm going to show you what I've been eating for breakfast literally every day for the last probably 3 weeks, and I absolutely love it. Super healthy. It's got about 400 to 500 calories. It's got about 40 grams of protein, 10 to 12 grams of fiber. I'm a huge fan. Check it out. It's my Greek yogurt recipe. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1 serving of this Kirkland Greek yogurt. As you can see, it's 2/3 of a cup. It's going to have 18 grams of protein, no fat, 7 grams of carbs, 4 grams of sugar. Great protein boost. I personally, so I was dairy-free for a long time. I've realized that my body actually does pretty well with dairy. The thing that gets me is gluten, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My tripod broke the other day, so I'm just holding my phone as I do this. There's 1 scoop. And 2nd scoop. I mean, I'm not like super perfect with this. I don't really care that much to be absolutely perfect. And that's our base that we start with. Next, we have our Orgain Organic Superfoods protein powder. I love this protein powder. 2 scoops is going to give me 8 grams of fiber, prebiotic fiber, 21 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar. If you want to take a peek at the nutrition facts, you can definitely pause the video, look at it. So they have this at Costco. That's where I initially got it, but I also am now just getting it automatically delivered via Amazon. So I'm a huge fan. I definitely endorse this product. A lot of protein powders. Again, supplements are not regulated by the FDA. So there's a lot of added junk in a lot of protein powders. This stuff is legit. Highly recommend. All right, so I'm going to get 2 full scoops here in the bowl with the yogurt. You might be thinking, like, what the heck? How is this going to taste? It's going to be super grainy. And I'll show you after I get this other scoop, wish my tripod was working, how we take care of that. So there we go. We've got our Greek yogurt and our protein powder in the bowl. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little bit of water to this. I don't think I'll be able to show you you me actually adding water. I'm adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and I'll show you what I do after. Okay, so you can see the water is in there. Again, it's gonna be hard for me to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna stir it really, really well. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all smoothed out. All right, there we go. I've got my smoothed out yogurt plus protein powder. Honestly, eating this as is would be pretty tasty, but I like to spice it up a little more. So I'm gonna add some chia seeds, about a tablespoon. Again, I don't actually measure these out. That looks like it's about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. Chia seeds are great. They've got omega-3 fatty acids and a lot of fiber. And then what I'm gonna do is just mix this well with the chia seeds. All right, so you can see that the chia seeds are mixed into the yogurt protein powder mix. And the last thing I'm gonna add is just some wild blueberries. I'm gonna go ahead and take this bag. Usually I use 2 hands for this. And I'm just gonna add roughly a half cup, not too many, but not too few. That looks like a good amount. And then I'm gonna stir it up. All right, I got the blueberries in there. It's mixed up. Now I'm gonna let it sit for like 10 minutes. Let those blueberries defrost a little bit. Let the chia seeds soak up some of that moisture so they're more digestible and bioavailable. And then I'll stir it up one more time and eat it. I'll show you what that looks like as well. All right, so I let this sit for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna stir it up. It's hard to do with just one hand. You can see the bowl moves, but it becomes this beautiful, delicious blueberry, high protein breakfast. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right, there it is. Delicious, beautiful, can't wait. So I love this as a breakfast because usually in the mornings I'm working, doing a ton of laptop computer work. Really easy to make. It takes about 5 minutes to put together. You wait for 10 minutes and then I can actually eat it as I'm still working. So I'm a huge fan. If it looks good to you, definitely try it out. Also, I use the frozen blueberries, but you could do peaches, bananas, raspberries, whatever fruit you want. It's a high quality, high frequency meal. All right, guys, lunch. I just had a solid workout. Today I worked from about 7:30 a.m. till about 11. Then I went to the gym, got a solid workout in, and now I'm gonna make my egg scramble. So I've got some butter. Love me some butter. I've got an Adele chicken apple sausage that I cut up. I believe it's 160 calories. I'll keep track of all the stats and post them at the end. We got some tomatoes. We got some habanero jack cheese. We're gonna do 3 eggs, and we're gonna add some turkey for some extra protein. I don't know if I'll be able to show me actually cooking it, but that's what's gonna go into it. For me to cut everything up, the turkey's obviously pre-prepped, but for me to cut everything up took me literally 3 minutes. The butter is starting to pop, so I better get going. Just to show you how I do it, because I try and make everything as simple as possible. So I've got the eggs in the pan already. I'm gonna put the cheese in. It's probably about 4 ounces of cheese. It might be a little more. And then I'm gonna see if I can do this smoothly while holding a phone. I'm gonna take this cutting board. We're just gonna dump everything in there. Very nice. And then I'm just gonna go ahead. My goal here is to get about 3 to 4 ounces of turkey. So I'm just gonna take a scoop. That looks like it's about 3 to 4 ounces. Again, I'm not super meticulous on measuring everything. I do keep track, I don't actually measure, I'm just rough estimates. And all I'm gonna do is just cook this and scramble it until everything is all cooked up. The cheese is melted. I'll throw a little salt and pepper on there. I might throw some mustard and hot sauce too. I'm a big fan of mustard and hot sauce. Not in it while it's cooking, but on top. And that's literally what I do. This meal takes less than 10 minutes to make. Honestly, I should probably have at least 50 grams of protein, if not more. A little bit of fiber. It's definitely a lower carb meal. I personally like to have a low carb lunch just because I want my mental focus to stay high going into my afternoon work shift. And I notice that if I have a lot of carbs at lunch, my afternoon focus is off. So that's usually what I eat for lunch. Again, I've had this same exact lunch literally every day for the last couple of weeks, and that's what we got. All right, so this is the final product. It's freaking delicious, I can guarantee you that. I put a little spicy brown mustard, a little sriracha on it because I just like the flavor. I like my low-cal condiments. Again, a very solid, nutritionally packed meal, more keto-esque, low carb, not necessarily somewhat on purpose, just because I don't like to hammer carbs during the day. I like to keep my brain fresh, and it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna eat it. All right, we've got the Summit Cup again. This is an interesting drink, one that I personally love, and oftentimes I'll have it in the afternoon. It's just iced coffee. So when I make my pour over in the morning, I do the extra in a small cup, and then I put it in a mason jar in the fridge. And then I actually add lemon juice and a little bit of salt. And it might sound weird. I always say, don't knock it till you try it. So if you like bitter flavors, as well as, there's some benefits to citrus when it comes to blood sugar regulation, and then the salt for electrolytes, it's pretty good. good. So highly recommend. I'm gonna have one of these this afternoon. Okay, it's about 4:30. I've been working, my brain's been working, and I just need a little snack to hold me over until I cook dinner in like an hour. So I've got a piece of cheese. I'm guessing it's probably 2 or 3 ounces, and I've got probably turkey. I would guess it's like 4 to 6 ounces. I'll keep track. I'll post screenshots of the meal, but that's what a snack looks like for me, honestly. Sometimes I'll do fruit and nuts, but this is what I wanted today. It sounds delicious, so I'm gonna eat this. All right, gonna make dinner now for the family. I'm gonna do this as simple as possible. We already have rice prepped inside. I've got the Blackstone on, it's heating up, and I'm literally just gonna put broccoli on it and ground beef. I'm gonna make burgers. I'll probably just make this pack, which is about 22 ounces, so just under a pound and a half. I'll probably make this into 4 separate burger patties, 1 for each of us. So again, I'm all about simplicity when it comes to cooking. Just gotta wait for the grill to get heated up, and literally I'm not gonna be able to video it, but I'm just gonna take this pack, I'm gonna rip it into 4 chunks, form them into burger balls and smash them, and then just put salt and pepper, and that's gonna be it. I'll also put some olive oil on the broccoli, but that's gonna be it for dinner. All right, so I literally took one hand and like ripped them up into what I thought was close to equal sizes. Gonna make them into smash burgers, albeit big ones. And then with the broccoli, what we're gonna do, so the broccoli's in big chunks, and I have this handy dandy spatula that has a little bit of an edge on it, and I'm just gonna kind of cut it down. Again, I could have taken the time to get a cutting board out and tried to like just cut everything up, and I just, you know, less dishes, more simple. This, my friends, the way that I do this is all about efficiency. And mind you, I don't even cook every day. A lot of times I'll just take leftover rice, ground beef or ground turkey that's already made, put it in a bowl, heat it up, honestly in the microwave. Some people probably don't like the microwave, and I just call that a day, but we're cooking today, so that's what I'm gonna do. A lot of times too, if I already have the grill on, I'll throw other stuff on it because I am making broccoli for the kids, and sometimes, you know, they just want broccoli, they don't want the mix. But I will often throw frozen veggies on here, like the Normandy mix from Costco. That's pretty much it, man. Just, you know, I already cut up the broccoli a bit, and it's in smaller chunks. I'm gonna keep chopping this up. I'm gonna flip the burgers, press them, and that's gonna be a solid dinner. And like I said, we already have broccoli made that I'll just heat up in the microwave. That's a simple, efficient dinner. Also forgot to mention, I'm not a crazy person. I like seasoning on my food. So we're just gonna throw a good amount of salt on the burgers, a really good amount. And then we'll do a good amount of pepper. I'll season both sides multiple times. And I think it just makes it, again, super simple. Sometimes I'll do like garlic powder, other spices, but again, we're going for simplicity. All right, I think we're ready to flip and smash. I think this was the first one down. No, that wasn't. I always like to go in order. It doesn't really matter that much, but I'm just gonna flip this bad boy, give her a smash. I'm gonna go ahead and put salt and pepper on that side as well. There we go. And there we go. And I'll do this for all 4. So we're gonna have the seasoning again for these other 3. And again, I know smash burger purists are gonna be mad because I didn't smash them enough and they're too big, but these aren't smash burgers, these are Michael burgers. So if you wanna make smash burgers, you go ahead. And then for the broccoli, I'm just gonna do a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna do some pepper. We're gonna do some salt. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up. Make sure all the broccoli gets a little bit of olive oil on it. Again, simplicity is key. I'm literally getting one tray dirty besides the plates and silverware that we use to make this whole meal. And then, you know, cleaning the grill, which doesn't take too much effort. Boom. Broccoli's looking pretty good. We're gonna give these another flip. Very careful now. Give a flip, give another press. We'll do that for all 4. Boom, super simple. I'm gonna throw a little bit more salt and pepper on these just for good measure. Not a ton, there's already some on there. And might flip them one more time. We'll see how they look, but that's how simple it is. Making burger steaks and broccoli at my house. All right, just tried a piece of burger, absolutely phenomenal. Broccoli is ready too, so all we're gonna do, scoop the broccoli onto the sheet pan, nice and carefully here. Don't wanna lose any broccoli. Again, this is super simple. And then the family will just come up and, you know, everyone gets a burger, everyone takes some broccoli. Probably heat up some rice for the kids. I haven't decided if I'm gonna have any rice yet. I probably will tonight actually, I'm kinda hungry. That's that. 2 burgers on top of each other. And one more. See if we can get all 4. It's like carrying groceries, right? Want to get them all in one. There we go. And boom, dinner is ready. That literally, from the time I got home from picking up the youngest from camp to completing dinner, I think it was less than 20 minutes. Not bad. All right, this is my final meal. Some rice, some broccoli, a burger. Probably saved myself some room for dessert tonight too, which I'm excited about, but that's what we got. Pretty simple, straightforward. I'll log it in the nutrition tracking app so we can see all the numbers. All right, so I finished dinner. I was still hungry and I entered in my food, realized I was still in a pretty big deficit for the day, especially because I've worked out and I'm gonna go for a walk later. So I made myself another turkey and cheese sandwich. This one's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna enter it in. I think, again, I don't care if I go over on calories. Like, I have lots of 5,000 calories days. I also have some days where I'm like under 2,000, but I will say if I still want to have some dessert, which will be another Greek yogurt bowl, I certainly can. Either way, I can. But what I was going to say, if you eat dinner and you're still hungry, I recommend just having a little bit more right then rather than letting the hunger build and just having that tide you over for the rest of the night. So maybe this will tide me over for the rest of the night. Maybe I'll have some more yogurt. Time will tell. I'm going to enjoy my little turkey sandwich. All right, guys, it is about 7:50 p.m. I just went for a walk. Still hungry. I'm hungry today. Today's been a hungry day. So believe it or not, I made one more turkey cheese sandwich. Probably about 2 ounces of cheese, maybe 3, and about 4 ounces of turkey again. So I'll add it up. I think usually like my maintenance is around 3,500. I'm probably still well below that today, but a lot of protein. It's gonna be delicious. One more big bite. All right, so that was a full day of eating for me on July 24th, 2024. Again, I do have some variance. It is interesting to see how in alignment this was with what I've averaged over the last couple of months. And I'll actually show you that, and I'll put some screenshots. So first, this screenshot, I just want to show you what the day looked like. As you can see, it was very, very high in protein. Over 300 grams is very high in protein. It's also very high in fat, right? Like, I would say anything over 200 is quite a bit. And then relatively low carb. And I think, I don't eat keto. I like to keep carbs a little bit lower earlier in the day. Again, like I mentioned in the video, more so for my mental energy, for my blood sugar levels, and just to stay more even keel, I guess, mentally. And it seems to help a lot. It helps me be more productive, more efficient with work. And honestly, like, I know that I could probably up my carbs a bit, lower my fat quite a bit, maybe even lower my protein a little bit, and maybe see better results from a physical perspective. And yes, I do train for physical performance, right? For me, I've mentioned it before, golf is something I love. I'm very into rucking, cycling, right? Like endurance type things. So those things are important to me, but the most important thing to me is actually my work and being efficient and being on it and I'm just gonna go with efficient, like being as efficient as possible and productive as possible when it comes to work. So that's definitely my top value. I look at food as energy, and it's something that is going to either give or take away energy from the things that I value, the things that I want to show up for and be my best for. And this was actually a pretty good example of what a day looks like for me. So on the flip side, I'll just show you my daily averages since May 1st of this year. I will be doing a longer video detailing what it's been like tracking all of that I'm going for at least 90 days. I'll probably actually go longer, but at the end of July, I'm going to recap my May through July tracking. And you can see my calories were pretty spot on. My protein was higher. My carbs were significantly lower. Then my fat was significantly higher as well. And I've had days that are much lower fat, much higher carb. I've had a couple days that were lower protein, but for the most part, I've been hitting 200 grams of protein just about every day. And again, these are the things that I've done since May 1st, I've lost 15 pounds. Oh, I actually wanted to mention too, this morning I weighed myself. I've been weighing myself every morning too since I've been tracking. And I was actually down a pound. So yesterday morning, the 24th, I was 216.1 pounds. Today I was actually 215.1 pounds, even with eating after I got home from my evening walk. Usually I like to have my last meal of the day and then go for a walk after. It helps with digestion. It helps me with sleep. I was just really, really hungry yesterday for whatever reason. I did do an intense workout, so that could be why. And, not forcing myself not to eat just because I wanted to see the scale be lower. I don't really give a shit what the scale says. I care about how I perform. Vanity is important. I want to look good, right? I can still kind of see my abs, and I'm seeing them more and more as I go. So I'm excited about that. But honestly, it's about how I show up. And I don't let food control me. I just, again, shared what I do for a day. If I'm extra hungry, I'm going to have those little turkey sandwiches. And if I'm not, I won't. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got value out of this podcast. I will say, if you like this, number one, in that school community I mentioned at the start of the podcast, of the video, I'll be posting more in-depth content content there. So if you want to jump in for free, check the link in the show notes. It's been a lot of fun. It's growing pretty quickly, and there's a lot of people in there who are doing a lot of great things when it comes to their health and well-being. And then two, if you got value out of this, if you found it interesting, if it made you laugh, if you are going to try a new recipe, whatever it may be, I would appreciate if you can like this video, if you can subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep ramping up the content here. That's my goal, is to do at least one a month, if not every other week is going to become my new goal. And just bringing you, real life stuff that I do, as well as things health and fitness wise that I know that they work. And last but not least, if you did enjoy this, and if you know someone else who you think might enjoy this type of content, feel free to share it with them. So that's what I got. Until next time, keep inspiring.